So let's go. The roadmap for happiness. So, Happy New Year. Is it gonna be happy depending of what? What? This lecture will be a kind of a reflection. So all of you have to really think about yourself. What would you do? What would I do in that situation? So I invite you guys to this kind of reflection. Sorry for my voice. I'm still sick from from my Christmas in cold New York. So 2017, the year just finished. And in Brazil we have this very famous TV show, Fantástico, that shows the retrospective. All the things, the important things that happened in Brazil and in the world, the good things and the bad things. And it's important for us. We need to think about. So the retrospective, we will remember, revisit, reflect, analyze, understand everything that happened in 2017. The good things and the negative things. It's important for us to think about why could it be different? What can I modify in my next year? And then we committed errors. It's normal. We are always committing errors. Errors are actually lessons that we have to learn. We have to learn and we have to modify. We have to avoid repeating. This is extremely important. We are not perfect, so we will be committing errors, but hopefully different errors, not the same ones. And the hits are the good things, the happiness that we acquired. When we do something good, we get so excited. This is awesome. We want to repeat, we want to do it again, so let's hope for that. Then comes 2018. 2018, we make so many goals. We have so many dreams. We imagine things happening. We program certain things that need to happen. We make plans and we create things in our minds that could be possible. So these are all positive things that we really have to look forward. Errors will happen again, but as I mentioned, do not repeat. Let's not repeat the mistakes we did in the past. And the hits, the good things, sometimes they don't happen. They don't happen by a chance. We really need to work hard to be able to do good things and to hit in a positive way again. So now this first little video explains what is the science of happiness. Many times we think in happiness, we think like, oh, if I was rich, I was going to be happy. If I had that beautiful bag, I was going to be happy. If I had that car, if I lived there, if I whatever. It's not really like that. You can be happy anywhere and with anything you have. The happiness is inside of us. And we need to understand it. So this doctor, he actually explains in a very good, very nice way. So let's follow.
Dr. Mike Evans, and this is a short whiteboard on happiness.
Is the sound?
It's a crazy topic, and the philosopher in me feels the more we try and make a formula, the farther away we'll get. It's also likely we all have different meanings for happiness. Pleasure, being engaged, life satisfaction. In medicine, we call it subjective well-being, with many domains. Research points to a lot of factors, but three big picture players. First are your genes, your personality.
Second are your life circumstances, things like wealth, where you live, health. Third are your life choices and behaviors. So of these three players, which is the most important? Dr. Sonia Lubomirsky, a University of California professor, has tried to answer this question. And I think she will say these are very approximate, but about half is predicted by your genes, 40% by your life choices, and only 10% by your life circumstances. So this is interesting. I do think there's a line in the sand. So for example, lifting people out of poverty would give a lasting bump in well-being. But for most, we think if I just had that new car, higher salary, bigger house, new lover/partner, I would be so much happier. But the research says that sure, there is a boost with a new car, a new hockey stick, a new marriage. But after time, so with a car this might be a few months, and the generally accepted time with a marriage is about 2 years, the new becomes the norm, and our happiness quotient drops back to what it was. The fancy name for this is hedonic adaptation. But perhaps the observation is that happiness doesn't come from getting something we don't have, but rather from recognizing and appreciating what we do have, or that happiness is best pursued by extracting the most possible from the present before turning one's attention to the future. Some would call this mindfulness or living in the moment. The second big lesson is about your life choices. The good news is they are mostly in our control and overlapping. So expressing gratitude, being more forgiving, meditation, mindfulness, exercise, investing in quality relationships, kindness, altruism, and doing things for others, compassion, having good flow, where you have a kind of spontaneous joy from being fully absorbed in a task, minimizing thinking traps that make us feel bad about ourselves. All of these can work with our factory settings to increase happiness levels. And don't underestimate their effects. Let's take one, having good relationships. The Grant and Gluick cohort trials have been following 2 groups of men, one advantaged and one disadvantaged, for over 75 years. And when they looked to see what most predicted being a healthy, happy octogenarian, well, it wasn't middle-aged cholesterol. It was middle-aged satisfying connectedness to family, friends, and community. And there are many nuances we are just figuring out. For instance, dosage. Dr. Lubomirsky showed in a small trial about counting your blessings, where you list what I am grateful for, helped when it was done once a week, but not so much 3 times a week. So in the end, I think, sure, if you want to buy something cool, go for it. It might even give you a short-term bump in well-being. But maybe also consider investing in a few things that have a longer-term effect, a happiness portfolio, if you will. You may have a set point, but just like your risk of heart disease, you can alter this a lot by doing things differently. Hopefully this helps. I'm grateful that you listened and watched. See, I feel better already.
So, as you could see, happiness is not really material. Happiness is not what you buy, is not what you're using, is not even your marriage. Happiness is something from inside of us and what we acquire. And there is another piece of information I discovered. Happiness is really when you make somebody else happy. When you make somebody else happy, you get so happy. Even Divaldo Franco, he gives a lecture about that. And we want to make somebody else happy. When we are charitable, when we are nice, when we are friendly, this is already, when you give good vibrations, we are receiving good vibrations. Sometimes we don't remember that. Sometimes we are down and it's normal, but we have to come up again. So this was just the introduction for us to start understanding. So now, 2018, we hope for a better year, or we hope for a better me, a better myself. What will be good? Will be the year will be different, or I will be different during this year? Well, you know, the idea would be both, because when we are better, the year will be better. Even if maybe difficult times will come, we will be able to face it in a different way. So what is happiness? Happiness is the state of being happy. And what means to be happy? Feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. And what makes you happy? This is a question for everyone to think, reflection. What makes you happy, really? Can be many things, can be any of those, but this can be, like the doctor said, it's a momentary happiness. Yes, if I drink a hot chocolate right now, whoa, I'm super excited. But then it passes. We are looking for a happiness that's more longer term. It's not just like the short period of time. And a few years ago, a friend of mine, Elder from New York, sent me this video. And he said, Angie, when I saw this video, the boy in jeans remind me you. And when I saw the video, I'm like, oh my God, that's me. So let's see the video. I was like, yay, 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 that's totally me, because I love to dance, and for so many years I have coordinated the dance events in the nursing homes we visit, and everybody said, no, 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 I don't know how to do anything, I don't know how to dance. Oh yes, yes, you know, I'm gonna teach you, let's do it. And I was able to make so many people do things they never imagined, so I was so happy to see the video. But when we analyze the video, you feel how happy they are. They are so happy. And when you analyze the location, you start imagining their lives. And you start comparing to children in other countries. Maybe children that are really rich, they have everything to be happy. They might not be that happy. So happiness is really a state of mind. And the music, and they being together to each other, brought so much happiness to them. It brought happiness to us to see them happy. So this is already something for us to start reflecting. What is the real happiness? And then I created these guidelines for a happier New Year. This is really for us to reflect, and this is very personal to each one of us. So I will talk a little bit about each of them, but let's reflect deeply about it. To be able to create this, I read many books. So these 2 little books, they are very little. If you haven't seen yet, they are very small, but the messages are very profound. Like Susanna said, The Pills of Trust, it's beautiful. We are going to be studying here through the year. But The Happy Life is also so beautiful, just 1-2 pages. And we should read this every day. It's so quick, 5 minutes, and we can have the boost of happiness through the day. And of course I used our books of codification, so you will see it written in each topic. So we start with God. So how can we have a happy 2018 if we don't trust in God? We need to trust in God. As Susanna said, God is our wonderful Father. Who is the good parent that's going to give a serpent to a child when the child is asking for bread? The good parent will do the best he can to help. And this is what God is. God is our loving Father who created everything and who knows everything. We don't know everything. As Susanna said, we feel orphans. We can't see, we can't touch. But God is there for all of us, always. Even in the difficult times. We are little children. We have to learn how to walk with our own legs. But God is always with us. And trust in yourself. Yes, this is a cartoon from Brazil. I used to love when he said, I have the power. Amen. And we have to think like that. We have the power. We have so many good things and so many potentials inside of us. And many times we decide not to do it, decide not to be active. But we have to do. We have this inner strength inside of us that we have to believe. Yes, I can. I love this sentence. Yes, I can. I can do anything I want. I have to put my mind to do it. And of course, we have to be positive, proactive, faithful. We have to change our old behaviors. Sometimes we keep doing things and then we analyze like, ugh, I did that again. It's not good. I don't feel happy. Change it. Changing is not easy, but you have to do it. Change it. Analyze how can you change. And create positive ones. You eliminate a bad one, create a good one. We all can do it. Know your Thai self. So, Spirit's book, 919. It's a long question. I just put a little portion. So, how can we morally improve in the present life and resist the attraction of evil? How? How can we do that? St. Augustine answers. He says, do what I myself used to do during my life upon the earth. At the close of each day, I examined my conscience, reviewed all that I had done, and asked myself whether I had not fallen into some duty, whether someone might not have a reason to complain of me. If we could do this little tiny reflection on a daily basis, we would be improving. This is really a self-analysis. At the end of the day, was I really good? Did I say everything positive? What could I change? And this is St. Augustine telling us how was his life on earth, how he behaved. So we should try to do the same. Because when we do that, as I said, we can reflect on our own faults. We can correct our imperfections that are many. We all have so many imperfections. We can better ourselves. And as I said, don't repeat our errors. It's very important we do that. Our life is so fast-paced, we never do it. At the end of the day, most of us don't even pray. You just lay in bed like... It's so important to reflect and to do our prayers so we can sleep with the angels. And it's really important. And then, seek and you will find. This is in the gospel. If you help yourself, then heaven will come to your aid. You have to help yourself. It's not being in a chair waiting for, okay, I believe in God, now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to wait for everything I want to happen. Honey, sorry, it's not going to happen. We have to work. We are going to see later on how it is. You have to help yourself to make it work. You have to work, as Susanna mentioned, work is extremely important and it's necessary. We all have to work. When we work, we learn new things. We progress in many different aspects. And then, when we are progressing, we are developing our intelligence. We all have intelligence, but we have different potentialities. Sometimes we don't even know that we could have done that. If we didn't have a job that was a little tough with a boss that was always pushing you, but then what happened? You develop certain things that we didn't even know. In the Spirit's book, 674 to 685, it talks about the law of labor. Talks also about the rest. We also have to rest. But labor is important. When we work, when we are doing our work, we are making an effort to work. Especially when sometimes it's a work that we don't particularly like, but it's important to be done. So we make an extra effort to do it. And when we do, we are developing physically, but also spiritually. We are always developing spiritually too. When we have a job, and most of the jobs, you always have 1, 2, 3, many co-workers, you have a hard time. It's not every job that it's so wonderful. It's good. It's good to have this fantastic job. But sometimes we have a tough co-workers that requires more than us for us to be able to have a healthy work environment. And this helps us to develop morally, because we're like, she is also a son of God, and he's not feeling well right now. And then I have to do my best to be good. And then this person will somehow be good to me too. And this helps us to evolve. So seek and you will find. Then love yourself and instruct yourself. Yes, you have to love yourself. You are the first one who have to love yourself. I love myself every single day. And I don't love the physical because the physical is going down. But my spirit, I love my spirit. I love my personality. And it's wonderful to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, who is going to love yourself? Yeah, maybe your husband. But you don't know. You don't know. If you don't love yourself, the other person is already like you, going down. So when you love yourself, you're always positive with whatever character faults you have. When you love yourself, I love myself, and I know this is wrong, so I'm going to change. I shouldn't be like that. When I am like this, I don't make people happy, so let me change. And we start changing. And instruct yourselves. We were just talking about the law of labor. We have to instruct ourselves in everything, not just in schools, but living in society. You know, when we instruct ourselves also, when we start respecting people that have different opinions from us. This is also instructing ourselves. So in the gospel, Christ the Consoler, the message 5:8, brought this message. Spiritists, love one another. That is the first precept. Educate yourselves is the second. So this message was from the Spirit of Truth that later on we discovered was Jesus himself. So this is so important. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to love the others? So you really need to do it. And imagine, spiritists love one another. We are all brothers and sisters. We have to learn that. We have to love ourselves. Sometimes people have difficulties to love their very close ones. Their sisters, their brothers, their kids. But this is the most important thing. If you don't love your very, very close family, how are you going to love your family that's a little bit further than you? And then you say, oh, but my sister, she is really difficult. Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine. But you have to learn also that you are also difficult. You have difficulties that you don't even realize. So love whatever person is very close to you so you can start expanding your horizons and really loving everybody else. And then love one another, as I already mentioned. In Genesis chapter 1, the items 26 and 23, Jesus said, "The Father will give you another consoler to be with you forever." So Jesus already knew. He was leaving us, and we are going to be feeling down. And he was already saying, don't worry. I will ask my Father, and he will leave another consoler to guide you, to help you. And then the consoler was the Spiritism. So Spiritism is our consoler. It may not be the consoler of other religions, of other groups of people. We don't need to worry about that. But we know Spiritism, and we know this is our consoler. So Spiritism teaches us so much, helps us to expand our horizons, understand life after life in this body here. And we have to be better, because we will come back. We will come back, and we will continue progressing. Shine your light. I love this. We all have light. We all have light. Some people have a little light more discreet than others. Others are like, hey, red light. We all have light. We have to make this light shine all the time. All the time. And how can we make our light shine? We can better our moral values. We can irradiate our life from our good thoughts, our good vibrations, our good actions. When you're good, good things come to you. So try to be good, try to be positive. If you are angry about something, refrain yourself. We know that everything that goes out from our mouth, don't come back. You already threw it there. And if it's negative, it's painful, and you will reflect about this, and you will like, I shouldn't have said that. It cannot come back, but you can ask for forgiveness. It's already another thing, and you can do it too. Be proactive about that. Be the good example for others. One of the most important things to bring happiness is being charitable. I already said, and you all know, in the Spirit Center, we know how important it is to help others. Not just with material things, but with everything, with our word. With listening to a person that is really angry or is desperate. This is also being charitable. And this brings so much happiness to us. So much happiness. So, in the Gospel, chapter 17 talks about the good person. It also talks about the good spiritist, but good spiritist is even tougher. So let's go with the good person. The good person is always good, humane, benevolent with everyone without distinction as to race or creed. because they see all men and women as brothers and sisters. They respect all sincere convictions in others and never launch reprobation against those who think otherwise. This is beautiful, and this is what we want to be. We want to be the good person. We really want to be that. It's not easy, but yes, we can. Yes, we can. Little by little, every day, we can practice, we can improve, we can reflect, as St. Augustine said, what wasn't that good today? How can I make it better? And we will be there. But continue, we have to continue. And this is more like in a broader sense. The disappearance of materialism. This is very important because when the whole planet understand materialism in the sense, not in the sense of loving material things, but in the sense that there is more in this planet, there is more that we cannot see, we cannot touch, we cannot understand. When the doctors, the scientists, they reach to this conclusion, this will be fantastic. This will really bring more happiness to our world. This will bring happiness because even the treatments in hospitals, they will be changed. Like we have already in Brazil many clinics, many hospitals that are spiritist hospitals, where people go there and the doctors believe that there is much more than the physical, and they pray. And in some places they give passes to the patients, and it's proven that they improve. Here in the United States, we have many scientists that are already in this transformation, that I already understand there is much more than what our physical senses can see. We have even Dr. Vanessa Anceloni from Virginia. She's a spiritist and she's a neuroscientist. And she brings so many other doctors to interviews that already understand that. So in the Spirit's book, the question was, why those who study natural sciences are so apt to fall into materialism? We don't even need to talk about the fight of the past that was science against religion. Let's focus here. The Spirit's answer. Human pride fancies knowing everything and refuses to admit that there are things that transcend human intelligence. Scientists think that nature can hide nothing from them. So the science, most of them, we can never generalize, most of them, they really think if they cannot prove, it does not exist. If they cannot touch, it does not exist. But we are very happy that, as I mentioned, there are scientists that I already understand. They said, science goes until here. From here, we don't know, we don't understand. It might be something further that science cannot explain right now. And some people call it God. And it's true. It's true. But one day, this is not going to be few scientists. One day will be all the scientists, or most of the scientists at least. And this will bring a much better world for all of us. And this eternal life, this is already easier for us. Because when we are in the spiritual center, eternal life is one of the main things for us. We have to understand eternal life, not to believe in it, to understand that this physical body will die. It will die sooner or later, but another one will come because we will come back. We will come back. As Benjamin Franklin said, he said he would be back in a better version, in a much more improved version of himself. And he wrote this epitaph. And I was like, Benjamin Franklin, he already believed that he was going to come back here in a better version of himself. And this is what will happen to all of us. We will come back in a better version of ourselves. Can you imagine? If it's already good now, oh my God, thank you. That's awesome. That's really super cool. So, in the Spirit's book 153, Kardec asked, In what sense should we understand eternal life? And the Spirit's answer. It is the life of the Spirit that is eternal. It's a long answer. But what we need to understand is the life of the Spirit. This body, it's gone in who knows how many years. But the Spirit will be back. I will be back. This is what is important for us. And when we come back, we will have many opportunities to improve. Many opportunities to find happiness. Happiness, we can think, is almost like this treasury that's hidden somewhere, and we are going to find it. But happiness is inside of us. The treasury is inside of us. We don't need to search so deeply. When we do certain things, we have that days we're like, whoa, today the day was marvelous. Everything was so perfect. Well, if we reflect, maybe that day you were marvelous. You know, we're not marvelous every day. We have days that we are really terrible. And that's why we have to study to improve ourselves to be a little bit better. But this is the point. When we are feeling good, everything happens good. And we feel this really deep happiness. And here, as I mentioned before, happiness is showing love. And we know that charity is love in action. In this video, I wanted each one of you to think about a person that you love or you loved. And or could be also a person that's incarnated or already discarnated. And you think, what would you like to say to this person? Because sometimes we call our mothers and we hang up the phone and we're like, okay, mom, love you, bye. Yes, our mothers, they understand we love. But have you ever taken the time to write a letter to somebody that you really love and explain why? Why do you love that person? Most of the times, no. I used to write Christmas cards and used to take forever because my Christmas cards had a very deep meaning. So every Christmas card that I wrote had why I'm writing the Christmas cards, why I'm writing for you, because my feelings were there. Took forever, took like a month. I had to start writing a month before because it took a long time. But I know that every single person who received that really felt my message. And sometimes we have these people and we take for granted. Oh, yes, he's my husband, I love him, he knows that. My mother, my friend, my whatever. But we don't really take the time. So just think about and start thinking that when we do that, we will bring happiness. As we read, as we saw, when we bring happiness, we receive happiness. So let's think about it.
After our first experiment on gratitude, we asked you guys for video responses. And you guys delivered. So take a look at what we did with it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I literally just watched the piece you did on happiness.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Grandpa.
Hey, kid, how you doing, honey?
I was crying while I was watching it.
So today in class, I had my students write a letter of the person that they were influenced by the most, and they were supposed to read it to that person. And I did the same thing, so I'm going to read you the letter, okay?
Well, I wanted to read you something, okay?
Alright, appreciate it.
Are you ready? I'm not going to cry.
Mom, I would like you to know that out of almost everyone I know, you have and continue to be the person who has influenced me the most. One of my first memories is resting my head on your belly and wanting to know why it was so big and yet so hard. I remember you saying, your baby brother is in there. I also remember thinking, she must love us a lot to let us stretch out her belly like that.
My grandpa is one of the most influential people in my life.
Mom, your name is Evelyn Gillum, who is destined to be with me, Jasmine Gillum, 22 years and some months ago. You weren't expecting this message today, but I wanted you to know that I appreciate all you have done for me.
I was calling to let you know how influential you have been in my life and how grateful I am to be so lucky to call you my grandpa.
Had it not been for you reading to me every night, I doubt I would have loved to read so much.
I may be lost at this age, but I'm so glad I have you as my mother to be my guide here on earth.
He has always supported me in what I do, and he loves me unconditionally.
You have touched my soul in ways you couldn't imagine. I'm not crying. I am. Okay.
Had it not been for dancing around the living room to jock jams, I doubt I ever would have been able to have fun looking like an idiot.
I know how much you've been through the past couple of years with Susan Q and Grandma. But you have been the rock that held the family together and the ray of light through the clouds.
And is a father figure to me and my two brothers. I thank God that he has blessed me with such an amazing grandpa.
But most importantly, had it not been for your tearful plea a year and a half ago, I know I would have never seen the dire need for me to seek healing. Without you, I would have continued on, thinking I was perfectly healthy, while my disease continued to wrap its fingers around my life.
Who has inspired me to do what is right and to never lose one's integrity.
You are a rock. You are a true picture of grace, mercy, and love.
You're such a stand-up pops and one of the most inspiring human beings I have ever met. I love you to the moon and back, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life.
I love you and I commend you for being the woman you are, the person you continue to grow into each day.
Over and out.
Oh my gosh, that is that's too good that anyone can ever give anyone. And you just made my day. You made my 91 years worth the living.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh.
So thank you, Grandpa, for being my grandpa and loving me. I love you.
Oh my goodness. What a wonderful thing he said, man.
Thank
Well, I
you.
got tears in my eyes, buddy.
I do too.
I love you.
I love you too. Oh, that's great.
I gotta.
Thanks for calling and I really love you. I love you, and like you say, unconditionally, and I hope you love me the same way.
I do, Grandpa.
I was watching this video on Soul Pancake, and these people wrote a letter about who's influenced them the most. And I was like, my mom is that person, and they said, make a video and upload it. And so that's what I'm doing.
Well, thanks again, guys, for your submissions, your support. We want you to know to stay tuned, because
So, don't worry. Be happy, and that's where we have to be. We have to be happy. When we are happy, we bring happiness. And as you saw the video, can you imagine how much happiness these people got when they received these messages? I saw this video and I cried so much. And it's so deep and so profound. So let's do it. Let's do it too. Let's say to people that we really care why we care. And you know, yes, if they already passed, if they're in the spiritual realm and you didn't do it, don't worry. You can do it. Pray and they will listen. Of course, it's so much better when you have that person close to you and you can do that. It's so much better. Even if you have that friend that you had like a fight and you don't say this anymore, try to do it. If you think a phone call is impossible because the person will hang up, write a letter, write an email, open up your heart, and then happiness will come. So thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions.